everyone. I am Angel Mitta, formerly Stetsko, and my speaker view isn't working, so we're going to work like this. Okay, so for all of you who don't know who I am, well, before I get into who I am, first let me just quickly mention that if you guys haven't seen, Team Cup registration started today. It officially starts on February 1st. You need a team of 5. Only 1 lifetime diamond per team. Julie has posted information in the coach group regarding Team Cup, so if you're not too sure about what it is, definitely check that post out. But basically, if you are in this to grow your business, for sure, sign up onto a team because it's like insane the amount of coaches that do so much better in their businesses when Team Cup is happening. So I just wanted to quickly say that first. Julie, is there anything you wanted me to cover beforehand? Okay. All right. So I am Angel Mitta. Like I said, I am a 2-star diamond coach. I've been a coach for about 4 years now. For all of you newer coaches that don't know me, I have been around for a bit. I have failed a million times, which is why I have found success. I started out as a coach when my now ex-husband was in the military, and I was staying at home with my son, Jackson, who is now 4. And when he was 6 weeks old, I started Insanity. Because I was a military spouse, I was able to sign up as a coach for free, but I wasn't super into it at all, actually. I thought coaching was pretty stupid, and I thought it was a total scam, and all of you people were crazy, and I obviously have changed my tune on that. But when I got pregnant with my daughter, who is now 2.5, Ellie, I realized when my ex was going to be getting out of the military that I was going to have to make coaching work, or I was going to have to go back to work. And I had been like a career student throughout my entire life. I went to school for like 10 years, like on and off. I'm not even kidding. And I still don't have a degree. I had no idea what I wanted to do. But the thing was that eventually I figured out that I did have some kind of a passion for health and fitness. And I actually used to watch a ton of YouTube vlogs from other people that kind of did stuff like us. And I was like, I want to do that. But I was like, that's not a real thing that you can do to make money. But here I am. And so I basically decided, I dedicated myself to learning everything that I could about coaching. And I was very, very stubborn at first. Still am, actually. And I gave Julie's my coach, and I gave her a ton of shit throughout my entire coaching experience. I still give her some shit. But basically, she helped me to see what I needed to do in order to make my business grow, and I did it. And within 8 months of actually trying to make this a business, I paid off over $5,000 worth of debt that I had had since I was 18 years old. And within about a year and a half after that, I was matching my ex-husband's income on the railroad. He was a train conductor. And shortly after that point, my husband and I had purchased a house, and a month after that, he lost his job, so I was the only income. And in 5 months after that, we separated. And here I am a year later, single mom to 2 kids, and this is my full-time income. This is where I get my money. This is where I pay my bills. And it's all, everything that has happened inside of me, everything that's happened around me, it's because of everything that coaching has done to me and done for me. So if you're a newer coach that's coming onto the team, seriously, if you really apply yourself, if you stay consistent with this can become a full-time income. This can become something that you're passionate about. Even if you're like I was in the beginning, where you're like, this is a scam, this is stupid, Shakeout is overpriced. you can totally change your mind and change your tune on that if you just try. Okay, so that's a little background info on me. And the topic of this call is how to hit Success Club every single month of 2017. Now, why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, we have something called Success Club All-Star, which is hitting Success Club 12 months in a row. That's at 5 or 10. And Success Club All-Star Legend, which means that you've hit it 24 months in a row. I hit it consecutively 22 months, and in December of 2015, that was the month that I was going through my separation at first, and I made a personal decision that I needed to take a step back that month and just take care of me. So that is the only month in the last 35 months that I have not hit Success Club. So I've hit All-Star twice. I've been very close to Legend. I had, between my 4 business centers, which I'm not going to really elaborate into that for all you new coaches, just basically that's where all of my business comes from, is just kind of scattered rather than in just one. I had 143 Success Club points in 2016. So I want to talk to you guys about how this can happen for you. I don't do anything special. I don't do anything different than what we tell you guys in the training. So I'm going to be honest and say that a lot of this call is going to be things that you already know, because there is no magic pill. There's no magic formula to hitting Success Club other than the things that we already tell you. But I will give you guys some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way in order to hit Success Club every single month. I think my lowest, I've had 5, very, very rarely in 2017, but I think my highest was 17 in one business center, and that was just for, that was a few months in 2016. So first off, the vital behaviors. I know, it's crazy talk. So for those of you who are newer, and for any of you who are not newer and just need a refresher, being a product of the product is so incredibly important. If you are a coach and you want to grow your business, you not only have to be drinking Shakeology every day, you have to be doing your meal plans, and you have to be doing the workouts. Let me just say that if you are working out at a gym, that's totally cool. You can still incorporate Beachbody workouts into the gym, and you can still share about those things. But the point is, you need to be showing your own personal results as proof that these programs and supplements work, and that the meal plans work. And something that I actually earned last year, there's a trip that we have called the New Leader Conference, and it's only for qualified coaches that go. It's like 2-star and a certain amount of elite points. And I heard Melanie Mitro talk last year, and the biggest thing that I walked away from, well, one of the biggest things that I walked away from that conference was that your body is your business. If you are not showing results using Beachbody products, why would anybody believe that Beachbody products work, basically? So you have to be a product of the product. Personal development. I have told this story a bajillion times, but it's always worth telling again. I already see Julie smiling. But like I said, I'm just a bit stubborn. And as you know what, honestly, and I have a team of stubborn coaches. Like, I just want to smack you all. But it's personal development is so incredibly important. There is a reason that it is a vital behavior. There's a reason that all of us top coaches on the team and top coaches throughout the entire network talk about personal development. Personal development not only helps you with your business, it helps you with your personal life. Personal development helps you with your emotional state, your mental state. It changes every single thing about you. And oh yeah, Julie said, you think we can't tell when you're skipping PD? We can every single time. We're like, oh, that coach is saying that. they're not doing PD. It's completely apparent because personal development changes everything. The way that you react to certain situations, the way that you go forward after you fail, it helps you so much with rejection. It helps you with staying inspired and having motivation to continue going even when you feel frustrated with the business, which happens all the time to all of us. If you're a new coach, if you're a few months in, if you're a few years in, every single coach gets frustrated. It's the personal development that helps you to push forward through it. And I just wanted to give a couple books that I think are really important, both business-wise and things that have really helped me personally. Go for No is an incredible book. It's literally only 70 pages, and it will completely change your perception of hearing no, which is something that we hear quite often as coaches, or we just get ignored, right? But hearing no, it's not always a bad thing. It sucks. It feels shitty when you hear it, but you're going to hear it. Bottom line, you're never going to go throughout coaching ever like never hearing no. It's going to happen a million times. Go for No kind of helps you change your perception of that. Mastering Your Mean Girl. I'm not sure how that works with the guys, but you could try it. But that one's really, really good, not only business-wise, but really more personal-wise, because a lot of us have this bad, Erin, a lot of us have this inner voice. Whether you're a man or a woman, all of us have this inner voice that always tells us, no, you can't. And Mastering Your Mean Girl, that's what that talks about, and that's what that helps tackle, is getting over that and learning to deal with it, rather. Two books that have really, really, really helped me personal are Spirit Junkie and The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. I'm very, very into manifesting and the law of attraction, and I'm into meditation too. So those two books, even if you're not really into those things, or even if you don't think that you're into those things, read them. When I was going through a lot in my personal life, which was therefore affecting my business, Julie actually recommended Spirit Junkie to me, and it is a book that I have gone back to a million times. It really, really has helped me so much. And The Universe Has Your Back is one that just came out recently by the same author. It's like the book after Spirit Junkie. Okay, next one, inviting. And I'm going to elaborate into this a little bit more later. But I want to really kind of emphasize that inviting first of all, inviting does not mean cold messaging. It does not mean blowing up everybody's inbox saying, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? Do you want to join my biz op? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? It's about inviting people into your life. And you do that by sharing. And it's very, very important not to just jump straight to an invite either, especially when you're first starting to talk to somebody. You want to build that relationship, and you build that relationship by inviting them into your life, and vice versa, inviting yourself into their lives. Get to know that person. Get to know why they live their life the way that they do. It doesn't even have to be health and fitness related. I can't even tell you how many conversations I just have just a conversation with somebody. And that's what you really have to go into your invites with, is just getting to know people. And recognition is our last vital behavior. Now, this isn't going to help you so much with Success Club, with recognizing your coaches for Success Club or something like that, but it's really important to use recognition to recognize your coaches and your customers for the progress that they are making in their own health and their own businesses, and recognizing yourself too. Recognize yourself for your own health. Recognize yourself for what you're doing with your business. Even if it's just making enough money to pay off a bill, recognize yourself for that. Share that and show people that this is what can happen with coaching or with your health, like anything that you can possibly share to recognize yourself or somebody else. Okay, so going into inviting a little bit more, I really want to emphasize, like I'm really emphasizing, first of all, don't cold message ever. But with inviting, it is so important to just share everything. Invites can come from personal messages. They can come from just commenting on other people's photos, their videos, their statuses, just showing them that you're there and you're watching and you're interested. Share on social media, whether it's Facebook, and I really do recommend mostly Facebook because that is where most people are. That's where we run our groups. But I also did kind of start out on Instagram. It's just a little bit trickier to use now. But you're inviting people in by sharing your life with them. And everybody overthinks this. Like, everybody overthinks everything, to be honest. But especially with sharing, everybody thinks, I don't have anything that I could possibly share that somebody's going to be interested in. That is the opposite of the truth. Something that you could think is completely normal and something that you would never even think to share, that's going to be something that somebody wants to hear or needs to hear. Just like a small example, I used to share all the time about when I washed my produce. That was something that was so simple to me and never even, it was just so simple. I never even thought to share it. And then one day I was like washing my vegetables and I was like, well, I guess I'll just post a picture of this. And it was insane the amount of questions that I got every single time I posted about it too, about how many people didn't know how to wash their vegetables properly. It's literally just sharing anything. And I want to say that it doesn't have to be health related, doesn't have to be fitness related. And actually, if you're just sharing health and fitness related things, you're kind of going to look one-track minded to the world. You want to be sharing your soul with everyone. Seriously, just be real. Share everything. And you don't need to go into specifics. I do kind of want to say that too. Because, for instance, when I was going through my divorce, like I said, we separated in December of 2015, and I didn't actually post publicly about the fact that I was getting divorced until March or April of that year, or of 2016. However, I did post when I was going through things about the fact that I was going through something. I was going through something really hard, and that I was just making the best out of it. And I was doing what I could to get through the day and to make myself feel better. And I can't even tell you how many people invited themselves into my life saying, hey, I don't really know you, but I'm here for you. I'm thinking about you. You don't need to share specifics. Just be real and talk about what you're feeling and what you're thinking. You don't need to just put it all out there. And I don't really think that you should put it all out there personally, especially personal-wise. But you should do it in a way where you're telling your story and you're doing it in a way that can help to inspire or get somebody who's going through that same situation through that situation. You can be that light in their life that they connect to that is going to show them that this is possible. And that is really important, that people see you as you are, because that's the type of person you want to attract. You want to attract people that you're going to get along with. And you're only going to do that the only way to do that is to be completely 100% real. You should be going live. Go live, do videos, put your face out there. People want to see your face. They want to hear your voice. And I will also say, it is scary as shit going live at first. When you go live for the first time, you're like, even if you've done a million videos, you're like, oh my God. All right. And you're like shaking and you get the sweats and like, it's horrible at first, but that's how it was for making videos for me. I actually was just talking to somebody about this recently, that when I first started making videos and posting them on Facebook, I was so uncomfortable. I was so awkward. And I would literally record like 10 videos, and I would have a script that I would basically read from. And eventually I would just be like, well, I guess this one's good enough. And I'd be like, oh, send. And I would post it. And now I'm just like, hey, whatever. I kind of got some notes, maybe. I don't even have notes for the most part. But then I just ramble a lot. And it's just important to remember that everybody starts somewhere. You're going to feel very, very uncomfortable doing these things. But the more you do them, the better you're going to get, the more comfortable you're going to feel. Okay, so that's super, super, super important. And these are all things that I'm telling you, they directly relate to Success Club, because the more people connect to you, the more people see you, the more people feel that they know you and can trust you, and you're already building that trust and relationship through just sharing your story. That's going to have that trust built for when you actually have that conversation, or for them to actually come to you when they know that they need help. So that kind of goes into just building relationships in general. It is incredibly important to build relationships with people. I could tell you guys that the majority of my Success Club points that come from any given month are from people that I began building a relationship with a month prior, 2 months prior, 3 months prior, sometimes 6 to 12 months prior. Not everybody is going to be ready the second that you start talking to them. And if you come off just saying, hey, we're going to talk for like 2 minutes about your life, and then I'm not really going to act like I care, but do you want to join my challenge group? Nobody's going to buy into that. Everybody's going to see you as a salesperson, and that is most certainly not what we are. We are building relationships with people in order to help them, and we help them by hooking them up with the products that we have, but we need to be able to know who they are and why they want the change in order to help them actually succeed, not just buy something just to buy it. They need to buy it and see a vision about what they want so that they stick with it. So it's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important to build relationships. It is like insanely important to stay consistent. For those of you who haven't read The Compound Effect, wait, this isn't The Compound Effect, right? I think it is. There is a scenario that the author talks about where you're pumping a well and pumping a well and pumping a well, and there's just like these drips coming out, right? And eventually, because you continue pumping it, the water's just going to start flowing. That is how it is with coaching and consistency. But if you don't stay consistent, if you stop pumping that well, you're going to have to start all over again in order to get that flow. So even in the months where you feel like there is nothing going on, there is nobody commenting on your shit, nobody's paying attention to you, this business sucks, I hate my life, stop, reevaluate, and stay consistent, because that consistency is what's going to get you through those hard months to where you have this super kick-ass month the next month. And I strongly encourage you all to make sure that you always have something going on. I actually use a calendar like this, and I plot out my months. I always try to make sure that I don't do a free group every single month anymore, but I usually try to make sure that I do a free group pretty consistently. I make sure that I do some kind of a sneak peek into my challenge group. So what I've been doing is a free pass into my groups. I used to do monthly groups for challenge groups. I've since switched to an ongoing challenge group. And I do those free passes, and I do new themes for every single month in order to keep that hype going up in my challenge group and to be able to invite and have a deadline for when people should start. I also do some kind of a webinar or a biz op, something like that. And I also want to say, if one of your upline coaches are not doing that, so what? Do it yourself. That's what you need to do in order to make this business grow. You are the only person that can do anything with your business. It is not your upline's job to do this for you. They are your mentor. They are running their own businesses. This is your business, and you have to take charge and stand up for it and know what you want and do the work in order to get there. But that's just a little rant. I also kind of plan out what kind of things I'm going to be posting about during those weeks in relation to what I'm going to be inviting to. So, for instance, the 5th through the 10th of this month, I had coach jabs that I was making. And what that kind of means is my posts are kind of more geared around coaching. And then on the 11th, I had my coaching webinar, which was a live video over on my business page. And for the 18th through the 21st, which is starting tomorrow, I'm going to be starting to do challenge group jabs for my 3-day free pass into my ongoing group, which will be from the 22nd to the 24th. And my actual start date will be right after the Health Bet ends. So you always want to make sure that you have something to invite to. That way you're not just kind of like blindly inviting or never having anything to invite to, therefore you don't do anything. Like I said, you guys are the only ones that can do anything for your business. Do not rely on other people in order to get those done. I will honestly say that while Julie is this like bigwig, it is me that grew my business. It's not her. She was there when I needed her. If I had a question, and I'm talking about like after I like tried to figure everything out on my own, if I had a question that I really needed help with, or if I was just flipping shit and I needed to like be smacked, she was there to do it for me. Like, because she is my mentor. She's not my boss. Just like your coach is not your boss. They are your mentor. They are there when you need them after you try to figure out the motions yourself. That's how she built her business. That's how I built my business. And it just continues going on from there. I also think it is, in order to hit Success Club, you want, if it's getting towards the end of the month, something that I will typically do is do an incentive. And that's only if like I'm really not close to hitting Success Club. And I will do something like, I've given away fix dates before, I've given away gift cards, I've done all sorts of things, but it's something that can help give somebody that extra push that they need in order to feel good about making that purchase. But I really will only kind of reserve that for the last maybe week and a half of the month if I'm feeling like really tight on hitting it. But that has worked for me a million times. It really, really does help to just be like, hey, by the way, I know that you're trying to do this, and this is just like an extra little thing that you can get if you actually start now. But those are the people that you're going to offer to when you're following up with them. They're the people that you've already talked to about doing a challenge group with you, and they just haven't pulled the trigger. And I will also post on social media about that. But I usually only make like 1, maybe 2 posts about it. I don't like to blast it out. I don't like to be salesy. I actually don't post a whole lot saying, hey, join this group. Hey, here's my biz up. Hey, here's this program that I'm doing. I will weave all of that stuff into my posts and my wording, but I don't flash it in your face. I can tell you, I've unfollowed a lot of people this week from other MLMs that are just like stock photo after stock photo and just like, hey, I have this sale. Hey, I'm looking for 25 people who want to lose 50 pounds in 10 days. Like it's just, I am like, no. Don't be like that. You want to actually be sharing your story. That goes back to share, and inviting through telling your story. Um, so where am I here? You want to stop having expectations from people. You know how I said that a lot of my Success Club points, come from the fact that I have been talking and building a relationship with people over the course of a few months in order for them to actually get something in that month. I don't expect somebody that I start talking to purchase something from me within a few days. I actually don't ever expect anybody to purchase anything even after I've given them the link, because I can't tell you how many times I've given somebody a link and it just sits there in their inbox and they never do anything with it. You have to take that expectation out of when you send out a link. When you can't rely on those Success Club points in order to get you to the Success Club. You don't just stop because you think you have it in the bag. You continue working, you continue helping people, and if you get some extra points, cool. But the fact is, you don't want to end up with less just because you're like, oh, well, that person said that they were going to buy. Oh, wait, that was 2 weeks ago and they still haven't bought. Oh, it's the first of the month and I didn't hit Success Club because I stopped talking to people because I thought that I already had it. You don't want to be put into that position. And that's going to happen a million times. There will be so many people that you're going to give a link to and who are going to be so ready to get started, and they don't for a few months after. It's just how it goes. It's how it goes with coaching. And it's how it goes with a lot of things. This is a significant purchase, especially for the All Access. That's a $200 purchase for somebody. You can't expect somebody to just willingly hey, here's my money, without building that trust and that relationship first. And sometimes, even after they think that they're ready, something might happen. They might not feel actually as ready as you thought that they were, or they thought that they were. But you keep following up with them, and you don't nag them. You just follow up and see what you can do, see how you can help, and eventually that purchase will be made. Sometimes, not always, but the point is that you keep on working and until you hit Success Club, and then beyond you hit Success Club. You don't just stop because you hit Success Club 5 or Success Club 10 or Success Club 20. You just keep on going, you keep on helping people. I know it is incredibly important to stop thinking of Success Club as a choice. Success Club is not a choice. If you want to build a business, Success Club is non-negotiable. And that's because this is your business. If you're not fulfilling your business goals every single month, how can you expect yourself to be a business owner? Yes, you're paying a $15.95 coaching fee, but if you're not actually working your business, if you're not fulfilling what you need to do every single month, you don't have a coaching business. I remember being on one of these calls that I was doing, and somebody asked me if I worried about if I hadn't hit Success Club in the last few days of the month. Flat out, no, I don't, because I will hit Success Club. I will always hit Success Club. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just a matter of when. And that conviction, that sincerity, that force that's guiding you, that is what you need in order to make sure that you are hitting it consistently every single month. You have to have that self-belief. And I feel like that is the number one thing that I possess that so many other coaches don't, is that self-belief that I can make this happen, that I can do the work, that I can actually build the business that I want, that I can build the life that I want. And that's only going to happen because of myself. That's only going to happen because I believe in myself. And I have been there where I had a spouse that was very unsupportive. And I still did it regardless because I believed in myself. So I do feel for people that have somebody or have family members or have friends that are completely unsupportive, but I have been there. I know what that's like. And I know that you need to have that passion and that fire and that self-belief in this business to make it work. Bottom line, you are what's going to make this work, not the negative comments coming from your spouse or your family or your friends. And I think that was actually what I had. I thought I had another thing that I had to say, and that was pretty much it. But seriously, like, believe in yourselves. Success Club is something that is incredibly achievable. It is a minimum of 5 points, which is so easy now with the All Access Challenge Pack. That's 3 points. 3 points per challenge pack. That means you hit Success Club with 2 people. And with just regular challenge packs, that's only 3 people. Think about it as helping 2 to 3 people every single month. That's so easy. It's so easy. And it's easy because you're talking to people. You're putting yourself out there. You are not letting yourself get frustrated by all the no's that you hear. And to be completely honest, I really don't hear a lot of no's anymore because people feel that they can trust me so much because I've been doing this and I've been consistent and I share my soul, I share my ups and downs, I share what works for me, I share what doesn't work for me, I share everything about myself, and people feel that they know me. People feel that they have been on my journey with me, and I wasn't always how I am now. I've fluctuated a lot in my weight this year, and I want to make sure that people know that you don't have to be at an end goal in order to help people. You can invite them, and that's what you should be doing, is inviting them along your journey with you, because that is the inspiration that they're going to use to see their own journey before it even actually happens. Success Club is something that is so vital to making your business grow. It's going to give you the incentives that you need. I mean, if you hit Success Club 5 or 10 every single month, Beachbody literally gives you presents. Like, they give you presents. For all of you people that are motivated by things and why wouldn't you? I mean, granted, I don't use everything that they give me, but still, I earn something for hitting a goal every single month. How many businesses, how many companies do that for you? Yes, we do both use our beach towel. And the Success Club trip, I mean, how many times, for all of you guys that have been watching coaches over the years go on these trips, those are completely earnable. You just have to put in the work in order to get there. I would have earned the trip to Cancun, but I didn't get off the wait list because I waited because I didn't believe in myself at that point. Last year, I went on my trip it was a cruise to the Bahamas and Jamaica, and that was completely paid for. I earned my entire Punta Cana trip, PJ, and I earned one of the top 5,000 coaches spots that I'm able to register for the trip to, where is it to Riviera Maya, right? For the 2018 trip. So these are things like, I started out being a know-it-all, didn't think this business was for me, had my head up my ass, and I thought that I just completely knew everything. And I made this business work for me because I believed in myself and because I put in the work and I stayed consistent. And I hit Success Club every single month. Seriously. It's so easy to do if you just do the things. And like I said, this is not new information. This is not anything that you guys have not heard. And there's a reason for that. It's because it is as simple as this: sharing your story, inviting people into your lives, being a product of the product, recognizing people, running groups, running biz ops, having deadlines, believing in yourself, and letting yourself know that Success Club is not a choice. It is hands down, non-negotiable. You will get it. Okay, so I'm just rambling. Let's see if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm going to go through these things now. And you can also unmute yourselves too if you want to ask. All right, I like that Julie and Angel, the invite actually intimidates me when I think I have to individually connect with people. Can share all day long and let them come to you through social media. That is true. However, you still do want to be reaching out to people. And it makes it really easy to reach out to people by reaching out to the people that are engaging on your posts. Saying a simple, hey, thanks for liking my transformation picture. That really means a lot to me. How have you been? It's as simple as just connecting in a positive way with somebody. But you do want to be making sure that you are actually reaching out to people, especially if you haven't been doing that for so long. Don't simply rely on people coming to you, because if you're going to do that, you're not going to build a business. I went out and I talked to a lot of people, especially when I first started. Now that I've been doing it for so long, I'm going to be honest and say the majority of people come to me. But that's because I've put in the work. I've stayed consistent for like 4 years. I mean, people know that this is what I do now for the most part. I feel like consistency should be one of the vitals. That's super true. Maureen, how is the ongoing group going? It's great. So what I do for my ongoing group is I have something called the Weights and Wine Happy Hour. And when I introduce new people in, I say, welcome to the happy hour. Everybody, says hey. And I have things in the files like extra recipes. I have meal plans. I have extra workouts. I have personal development. I have I go live in there and I try and share information. I do little mini challenges. We've done I think I did like a 3-day refresh in there. Well, I did the 3-day refresh at least. I've done like headstand challenges. I've done actually, I don't even have to do that one. It's just a lot of people in there have been seeing me and a couple other coaches doing headstands and just kind of decided to jump on the bandwagon. And I just did a little mini juicing challenge in there too. And what I do is I incorporate the My Challenge Tracker app, and I award the person who stays the most consistent, whether that's a coach or a challenger. Whoever stays the most consistent wins a gift card at the end of the challenge. And then I ignite the fire in the group by doing a new monthly name. So I had Hot for the Holidays at first, and now my one is Slay Your Way into, no, Make Your Slay, I keep forgetting this. Make Your Slay into 2017, something like that. So yeah, I love it. And I didn't think that I would. I was really nervous about doing it, but I like it.
Your 30-day ones that you're renaming, that's just on the Challenge Tracker app, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I post about the name in the actual group, but it's basically just a Challenge Tracker app. Julie also said, you need to be open to being coachable, or no matter what I say or your own coach says, it won't make a difference, which is 100%. When I was first a new coach, I was totally not coachable, and I bombed in my business. Once I started actually listening to my coach, kind of made some strides. Listen to your coach, especially if they know what the hell they're talking about.
We actually joked about that this weekend, where I feel like everybody that I know at some point like absolutely hates me. And then they're like, oh, maybe she was right.
Yeah. I called Julie some names many a time, but I wouldn't be where I am today if it was not for her and her really annoying advice. All right, let's see here. No. Yeah, Julie said that Mexico is going to be her 6th trip that's paid for by Beachbody. It's pretty freaking badass. Tatiana, I think sign up is the 19th for the Success Club trip. Oh, Cindy, do you want to talk? I see you raising a hand.
Yes. You guys keep on talking. Well, you and Julie, how you guys have a mentor relationship. Did you guys have like weekly meetings, or was it just you had a question and you messaged her? Like, how did your mentorship go?
At first, Julie posted something back before the team like really, really blew up that, if anybody wanted to do, I don't know if it was weekly or bi-weekly or something like those calls. And it was like a group of us that would do calls together and just kind of talk about what was going on in our businesses. But after, we kind of sort of did those for we did those for a good amount of time, but eventually it kind of just turned into, actually, a lot of the girls that were in that group are the leaders on the team now. So it's something that, I mean, like, you're my coach, we can definitely do that if that's something that you're interested in, but you just want to, like, make sure, and this goes for you, it goes for everybody, make sure that you reach out to your coach and let them know that you are interested in doing something like that, because we can't really predict what you guys want and what you want out of the business. So if you just kind of tell us directly, like, hey, I want to do some weekly calls, I want to do bi-weekly calls, and just kind of check in and get some questions answered, that's something that your coach can for sure do.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can add to that too. I hate doing calls. I get really burnt out with them, and it's totally my own fault because I had scheduled too many. And so I had started doing like pod calls, like Angel said, with a couple different coaches, and I started getting blown off, or the coaches would show up with the same goals every week, the same excuses every week, and not taking any action steps every week. So I stopped doing the calls altogether. And what I did was I had 7 coaches at the time, 6 or 7 coaches who were all kind of right around the same area. Like they all had like 3 or 4 coaches. They were all personally sponsored coaches. They were all going for Diamond. And so what I did is I put them all together in a Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, we really worked together that's actually where a lot of our first coach training came from, because I was new then. I was like just barely Diamond. That was where all of our coach training came from. But it also added an extra step of like accountability to those coaches. And so you guys will notice there's a huge gap between hitting Emerald and then hitting Diamond. And that's where you lose a lot of coaches because the motivation falls off. And so I think it really was having that group of coaches all together that could like push each other and kind of go through the ups and downs together between Emerald and Diamond that really kept them going. Out of everybody in that group, all but 2 became Diamond coaches, and the 2 that didn't quit coaching. So it was super, super successful. They both quit for their own reasons. One was like the best day of my life when I got that email. I hope you guys never have a coach like this. But everybody else like was absolutely amazing, and it really, really helped just to keep it like a little challenge group almost, and it helped keep everybody accountable. I think, were we doing weekly calls in there, or like every other week after that maybe?
I think we started out doing weekly, but we ended up doing like bi-weekly, something like that.
Just because everybody's busy.
Yeah. It does get to be a lot when you have, I mean, like Julie said, if you have a bunch of coaches that want to do calls, it takes a lot of time. But doing like cluster calls it's fantastic, because then there's like a bunch of ideas being put out there too. Jennifer, you do 30-day challenges? Yeah, I only do 30-day. That's literally the longest that I will do. Allison, step your sleigh into 2017. That's my name. Are you setting up a new challenge each month in the app? Yes. And that's where those names come in. Julie said, I think with anything in life, you want people who tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear, which is a very hard pill to swallow when you don't want to hear it. But a lot of the times, just like with us coaching, we have to say things. We have to get that seed planted and that brain buzzing about why something needs to change. And that's what you do. I mean, like, you don't always have to be the super nice one that's like, oh, okay, I understand. Like, no, you're the coach. Make sure that you coach people. Make sure that you tell them what they need to hear. And you don't need to do it in like an asshole way. But you don't just want to, what's that word? You don't want to enable them to continue those unhealthy habits or unhealthy business habits that are going to just keep putting them back in the same situation they want to get out of. All right. And then Tatiana, yeah, and actually use that advice and take action on it too. That is super important. Like, you can listen to some advice and then not do anything. Like, don't be that person. Take action on the advice that you're given. Take action on all of these things that I talked about tonight. Does anyone do calls or Zoom with challenge group people? I don't personally. I mean, well, I do for meal planning. I do one meal plan. Oh, that's another part of my 30-day, or that's another part of my ongoing group, is I do a monthly meal planning call. And I just do that live in the group. It's not a Zoom call, it's just live. And people can ask questions. Okay, so if there's no other questions, I just want to leave you guys with something, two action steps. First off, schedule out the rest of your month and maybe even going into next month about when you're going to run things, when you're going to run a free group, when you're going to run a challenge group, when you're going to run a business opportunity. Team up with coaches if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself. Just have those things scheduled and schedule out when you're going to be, like how you're going to post leading up to that, so that when you put that invite out there, it's not just totally out of the blue. And second, I want you guys to put your goals after I post the replay for this. Put your goals for Success Club for this month and for the year. You know, like I said, these tips, everything that I told you in this call, it will 100% help you to hit Success Club every single month in your coaching career, not even just for 2017, every single month, if you do these things on a daily, consistent basis. Okay? So that's all I have for you guys. If nobody else has any other questions, I will let you all go. And I hope you all have a fantastic night. I'll get the replay up as soon as possible. Bye, guys.